So on this platform, I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't want you to take my word and say, oh, well, some lady on the internet told me this. No, I want you to hear what's happening to our great state of Montana from the horse's mouth. So this is a guy, John Cheshire. He is the CEO of Quantico Data Center, which is going to be a 5,000 acre data center outside of Broadview, Montana. If you know anything about Broadview, Montana, they don't even have a stoplight. There's not even a hotel in Broadview, Montana. It has a post office, a restaurant, a gas station, which by the way, old fashioned gas station. Just so you know, like this is not where you're like, I'm gonna set up my 5,000 world class biggest data center in the world ever. Oh my goodness. So, anyways, I digress. This is from the horse's mouth. This is a Voices of Montana podcast. September 18th is when it was posted online of 2025. So it just happened like two months ago. So I just want to show you, he's going to explain how they bought the 5,000 acres very quietly. And then he's going to say the quiet part out loud where he says why. And then he's going to go into greater detail of what it's going to look like. Spoiler alert, it's going to be 12 to 16 buildings that are going to be 200 to 300 square feet big. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. So I'm going to show you the clip.
What does this look like? It's a 5,000 acre data center. Did you buy some of that land? Is it leased? And I know you talked about developing as the need comes about, but draw us a picture of what this might look like, and when do we get a shovel in the ground?
Sure. Yeah. Well, when you look at these buildings, they're kind of boring. They look like a giant warehouse from the outside. They're fully enclosed buildings. So one of the myths about data centers is that they're incredibly loud buildings, but because of the way they're constructed, they actually operate relatively quietly. You see them at the 55 decibels, a little bit more than that, depending on the traffic conditions if you're moving something around. But they're otherwise they're kind of boring looking buildings. It's like just a giant warehouse from the outside. And so what you do is, so the 5,000 acres, we do own that. We acquired that land, last year, very quietly, because we didn't want to alarm the community before we announced anything. And now we've made this announcement well in advance of doing anything, so that people can be prepared for it. But what we do is, of that 5,000 acres, you won't put buildings on all of it. You're going to need parking lots. You're going to need roads. But you'd ultimately see, 12 to 16, large buildings. They could be 200,000 to 300,000 square feet in size. So that they are large, but they look like just plain warehouses. And ultimately, we would begin some civil work in 2026. We'd be leveling some ground, putting in some roads. By 27, we'd expect to be laying the foundations of some buildings, the first building in particular. And then once that foundation gets laid, you'd start putting up the four walls and the roof. And then sometime in 2028, we would begin actually putting in the racks that will hold the computers and begin drawing power. And so in parallel...
John, we're going to have to leave it at that. I got 20 seconds and...
He said the quiet part out loud. And I'll actually do some more videos with that as well. But this is the scary part. These data centers use millions of gallons per day. Millions of gallons per day. And this poor little town, Broadview, it gets its water like 200 miles away. 200 miles away. And they want to come in and they want to put a 5,000 acre database in Broadview, Montana. Make it make sense. And I'm going to show you who voted for this. I'm going to show you from our 2025 session in Montana who voted for this. Your House representatives and your state senators will absolutely have to come out and tell you that they voted for this. They voted data centers for our future. Katie Zolikoff, I'm looking at you. House Bill 424. What a joke. Just one Montanan. Trust your worth and raise your voice.